Welcome to the October 2022 Murrieta Housing Market Report. Are you guys ready to see how much prices in Murrieta have dropped over the last 3 months? We're going to be talking about that and a lot more stuff coming up here right now. All right, so just a reminder before we get started, all of the information that we're going to look at here is based on single family houses only in Murrieta specifically, does not include information about condos, townhomes, or mobile homes. And the reason we do this is because single family houses in Murrieta account for over 85% of the sales and give us, in my opinion, the most accurate picture of the real estate market. All right. We're going to jump right into this and look at homes sold. Going back to September of last year, you can see there were 200 homes sold versus September of this year, where there were 119 houses sold. And then month over month, if we look at August, we sold 144 in August. And then again, of course, 119 in September. 119 is a little bit on the low side. So the difference in houses sold percentage-wise in September 21 versus September 22, 40% less this year than last year. And then month over month from August to September, down again, just a little over 17%. I put this chart in last month's report if you didn't see it, where I went back and took the average from 2015 to 2019 because that was a much more normal market than what we've been dealing with over the last couple of years. And the average number of homes sold per month during that time period was 167. So as you can see, 119 homes sold is just a little bit lower than what we experience in a more normal market. All right, now we're going to take a look at how many houses are available for sale. So this chart shows us how many homes are actively for sale. And again, this is month-ending data. So at the end of September, there were 387 homes actively for sale. Back in August, there were 399 homes actively for sale at the end of the month. So as you can see, we're kind of starting to work our way back up, and we're getting closer to the normal range. Certainly much better than it was down here over the last couple years, where at a low point, we only had 168 homes actively for sale in December 2021. So this is good. This is moving back up. Down, obviously, just a little bit from last month to this month, but not very significant. I'm sure that we'll see this keep trending up here over the coming months. Let's talk about interest rates for a minute. So I read this article and actually several others just like it that were kind of raising the question, what's going to happen with rates for the rest of the year? They just went up. If you missed it at the last Fed meeting, which was, I think, just a little over a week ago, the Fed raised the rate 0.75%, and we saw a little bit of that action carry over to the 30-year mortgage rate, which we'll take a look at in a second. But here's what this article said, long story short. The Fed is planning on raising rates by another 1.25% before the end of the year. If the mortgage rates keep pace with that or close to it, which they normally tend to do, it's not necessarily a percent for a percent, but they stay pretty close to it. If that's the case for this year, we could be pushing 8% mortgage rates by the end of the year. So here's a look at where we are now with the interest rate. As of the time of this report, the 30-year fixed rate was at about 6.7%, up almost 0.75% from August. And then if we go back and look at the month-ending data for September of last year, the rate was at 3.1% at that point. So well more than doubled over the last year. And then again, up almost 0.75% just from last month to this month. All right, the moment that most of you have probably been waiting for. Let's look at price. So year over year, we're up almost 5%. September of last year, median price was $615,000. This year, $645,000. And then month over month, we're down again for the third straight month in a row. We went from $655,000 to $645,000. All right, so like I just mentioned, we have had 3 consecutive months of price drops. Going back from June to July, we had that really big drop. And then July to August, another small one. And then August to September, which is what we just looked at, was a 1.5% drop. If you add those up, we are down almost 9% over the last 3 months. So pretty big drop there and a pretty consistent trend over the last 3 months of the market going down. All right, list price compared to sales price is another stat that I really like to keep my eye on. I'm sure most of you know and remember in the last couple of years where people were paying way more than asking price for the house. On average, that's all starting to change now. Back in September of last year, on average, houses were selling for 2% more than what they were listed for. And then fast forward to August of this year, on average, houses were selling for 2.5% less than what they were listed for. Last month, on average, 3.5% less than list price is what houses were selling for. The days of, people paying $50, $60, $70, $80, $100,000 over list price. So that's obviously not happening anymore. All right, how long are these houses taking to sell? What this shows us is the average days on market. That's the average time that it takes once a house is listed to the point where an offer is accepted. And as you can see, that is certainly continuing to trend upward. It was super low September last year, only 18 days. August of this year, only 22 days. We're up to 32 days now, which in a normal market, that's still a little bit low, but it's heading back up and we will continue to keep our eye on that. All right, so what you need to know if you are selling or buying a home, just a couple key things here. As we just talked about, the average days on market is going back up. It's at 32 right now. That's not high by any means, but it's certainly giving buyers, affording them a little bit more time to get out and look at stuff, whereas in the past they would have like 1 or 2 days to look at it and then it would be off the market. Now they have a little bit more time and a little bit more to look at as well. And as a result of that, we're seeing sales to list price. On average, houses are selling for less than what they are listed for. So as a seller, you need to be a little bit more flexible and willing to consider offers that are not at list price or significantly above like they have been over the last couple of years. All right, guys, I hope you found that information helpful. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss any of our market reports or cool home tours that we've been doing. And if you have any questions at all or are thinking about buying or selling a home in the Southern California area, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'd love to help you. We'll see you on the next one.